Good morning, children. We will discuss another topic, which is chapter 3, in which the construction of quadrilaterals. What is meant by a quadrilateral basically? A polygon with 4 sides is called as a quadrilateral. A polygon with 3 sides is called as a triangle, which you have already learnt in your earlier class. Now it is a polygon with 4 sides is called as a quadrilateral. Then what is meant by a polygon? Polygon means nothing but a simple closed figure. You know what is meant by a closed figure and open figure. So here it is a polygon with a 4-sided and closed itself is polygon. A polygon with 4 sides is called as a quadrilateral. So there are 2 basic properties for a quadrilateral. What is meant by what is the properties? First one, quadrilateral is a closed figure with 4 sides, and the sum of 4 angles of a quadrilateral is equal to 360 degrees. So we have different kinds of quadrilaterals, but still these are the basic properties for all the quadrilaterals. What is the first one? Closed figure, and which have 4 sides, and which also will have, so any polygon which is having 4 sides will have 2 diagonals. What is meant by a diagonal? Diagonal is a line segment joining 2 opposite vertices. If you join 2 opposite vertices, that we call it as a diagonal. So all the quadrilaterals will have 2 diagonals. Now sum of 4 angles of a quadrilateral is equal to 360 degrees. So there are number of quadrilaterals like a square. Square is a quadrilateral, rectangle, parallelogram, rhombus, trapezium, quite. These are all comes as a quadrilaterals only. But basic properties are what? Each of them will have 4 sides, and sum of 4 angles is always 360 degrees only. It is not more than 360 degrees, or it is not less than 360 degrees. It is exactly 360 degrees. So what is the first kind of a quadrilateral? Square. Already you know that a square. A rectangle is also having 4 sides. Parallelogram, rhombus, trapezium, and kite may be new to it. Kite also you know basically. So let us learn about them properly with some amount of examples. Now, what is meant by a square? Square means this is the shape of a square. This is the shape of a square. If you have in which all the 4 sides are equal and opposite sides are parallel. See, what are the opposite sides? This is one side, and this is one side, this is one side, and this is one side, right? So here you can see the 4 sides, and in this what happened? All the 4 sides are equal, opposite sides are parallel. What are called opposite sides? This side is opposite side to this side. These 2 sides are parallel. Similarly, this side is opposite to this side. You know, all the 4 sides are equal and only opposite sides are parallel to each other. Understand? Now, all angles are equal, and each angle of the square is equal to 90 degrees. Means here you can see a small line like this. Now it is showing you that it is 90 degrees. All angles are equal. When this is 90 degrees, obviously this angle is also 90 degrees, this angle is also 90 degrees, this angle is also 90 degrees. So 90 degrees plus 90 degrees, 180 degrees, 180 degrees plus 90 degrees, 270 degrees, 270 plus 90 is equal to 360 degrees. Now 4 sides are there, right? And sum of 4 angles is equal to 180 degrees, and also it is a closed figure. So we call this as a square. Now diagonals are equal, and each diagonal divides the square into 2 congruent triangles. See, what is meant by a diagonal? This is a line segment joining these 2 opposite sides, opposite vertices is called as a diagonal. So this is one diagonal and this is another diagonal, right? So here a quadrilateral square, here these 2 are the diagonals, and here the diagonals are equal, and it divides that triangle into 2 congruent triangles. What are the 2 congruent triangles? This is one triangle, and this is one other triangle. So this line segment, which we call it as a diagonal, divides the total figure into 2 congruent triangles. Similarly, here if you take this diagonal into consideration, then this is one triangle and this is another triangle. It divides it to 2 congruent triangle. Congruent means what? They are equal in size and shape. So and the last one is diagonals bisect perpendicularly. Perpendicularly means what? At the point of intersection 90 degrees will be there. Understand? So what are the four properties here? By looking at the figure, you can say all the four sides are equal and opposite sides are parallel. See children, I am telling you here two properties for the sides, two properties for the angles, and two properties for the diagonals. So basically 6 properties. We'll reduce it with three properties and tell you. As the four sides are equal, we call this as all the sides are equal and opposite sides are parallel. So with the sides it is over. Now with the angles, how do you recognize the angles? All the angles are equal. Each of the angle is equal to 90 degrees, right? And sum of the adjacent angles is equal to 180 degrees. Anyway, these two, sum of these two is equal to 180 degrees, sum of these two is equal to, and adjacent means what? Pakka pakkana. So sum of these two angles is equal to 180 degrees and these two is also equal to 180 degrees and so on. Now this is about the angles. Now diagonals are equal. This diagonal is, length of this diagonal is equal to length of the other diagonal. So here the diagonals are also equal and divides that square into two congruent triangles and they divide perpendicularly. The diagonals bisect. Bisect means what? Divides themselves in two equal parts. That is called as bisect. So bisect perpendicularly. Here you can see the angle there, right? If you wherever you see this we call it as 90 degrees only. So as it is 90 degrees, it is perpendicular bisectors. Understand? This is about the quadrilateral. Any figure, if these properties are satisfied, we call them as a square. Now we will learn about the next one. It is a rectangle. This one is also already you know now. This is a rectangle. A, B, C, D I have written here. It is an angle. And here both the pairs of opposite sides are parallel and equal. See children, here adjacent sides are equal. All the four sides are equal. Here only opposite sides are equal. So this side and this side are equal. Understand? So opposite sides are equal and opposite sides are parallel also. So opposite sides are parallel and equal. You can see this symbol which is telling you that the angles are equal to 90 degrees each. Now each of the angles is equal to 90 degrees, and here also diagonals bisect each other. But did you see that bisector here with a perpendicular? No. So they are not perpendicularly bisected. They are just bisected. So the diagonals bisect each other. Here what happens? The diagonals bisect perpendicularly. Here the diagonals are not bisect perpendicularly. No doubt the diagonals are equal. Length of the diagonals are equal, but they do not. They divides it into two congruent triangle. That is also correct. That is also correct, and so on. The remaining all the properties are as it is. Only what is the difference between them is so here the diagonals are equal and diagonals bisect not perpendicularly bisected. Diagonals does not bisect perpendicularly. Just wait children.
చేసుకుంటున్నారా పడుకున్నారా
Now, both the pairs of opposite sides are parallel and equal, and all angles are equal, and all means what? 4 angles. 4 angles are equal and each of them is equal to 90 degrees. Diagonals bisect each other and each diagonal divides the rectangle into 2 congruent triangles. I explained you that with the first diagram. Now diagonals are also equal for the rectangle. So any figure which is satisfying all these properties are called as a rectangle. Now coming to the next one, which is a parallelogram. A polygon in which both the pairs of opposite sides are parallel and equal is called as a parallelogram. This is a polygon. First thing, it is a polygon in which both the pairs of opposite sides are parallel and equal. Say, what are opposite sides? AB is parallel to CD and AD is parallel to BC. So both the pairs of opposite sides are parallel and equal. That is first thing. The other thing is opposite angles are equal and the sum of two adjacent angles is equal to 180 degrees. What are called as opposite? See children, here this arrow shows that they are parallel. So this AB side and CD side are parallel to each other. Similarly, AD side and BC are parallel to each other. Next, opposite angles are equal. What are opposite angles? Angle A and angle C are opposite angles. So here angle A is equal to angle C, angle B is equal to angle D. So both the pairs of opposite sides are parallel and equal, opposite angles are equal, and the sum of two adjacent angles is equal to 180 degrees. What are adjacent? Adjacent means, I told you in the previous figure that angles which are lying side by side are called as adjacent angles. So angle A and angle B are also adjacent angle, angle A and angle D are also adjacent angles. So here angle A plus angle D is equal to 180 degrees, angle A plus angle B is also equal to 180 degrees. Similarly, angle B plus angle C 180 degrees, and next angle C and angle D is also 180 degrees. However the case, sum of two adjacent angles is equal to 180 degrees. Now coming to the third one, you can see the two properties related with angles. One is opposite angles are equal, the other is sum of two adjacent angles is equal to 180 degrees. Similarly with the diagonals also, we have to diagonals bisect each other. What is meant by the bisecting here? Suppose if this E is a point, DE length is equal to BE. That is how it was shown with a single line. These two lines are equal. Means what? The length of the two sides which from the intersecting point is equal, which we call it as a bisection, right? And here similarly AE is equal to CE. Now diagonals bisect each other and each diagonal divides a parallelogram into two congruent triangles. Here it is not perpendicularly bisected. Could you see this? No. Angle is perpendicular was not shown. Therefore it is not a perpendicular bisector, it is just a bisector, right? So angle divides that triangle, the diagonal divides it into two congruent triangles. So ABD is one triangle, BCD is one triangle with respect to the BD length. With respect to the ACD is one triangle and ABC is another triangle. So each diagonal bisect each other and each diagonal divides the parallelogram into two congruent triangles. Any figure which is satisfying these three properties, around 6 properties, are called as a parallelogram. Now next one, rhombus. It is also a parallelogram, but here adjacent sides are equal. Adjacent means what? Here pakkana sides anni equal ga untai mata. So AB is equal to BC, BC is equal to CD, and CD is equal to AD. What does it mean? Almost all the 4 sides are equal, right? 4 sides are equal, but you can see these two are parallel to each other. Opposite sides are parallel. all the four sides are equal and opposite sides are parallel. So this is about the sides. Now opposite angles are equal. Angle B is equal to angle D, angle A is equal to angle C. So opposite angles are equal and sum of adjacent angles is equal to 180 degrees. Angle A plus angle D 180 degrees, angle D plus angle C 180 degrees, angle C plus angle B 180 degrees, and so on. Sum of adjacent angles is equal to 180 degrees. Now diagonals bisect each other perpendicularly, means here perpendicular bisector 90 degrees. They are perpendicularly bisector and each diagonal divides the rhombus into two congruent triangles. Here the diagonals are not equal. See, what is the basic difference between the square and a rhombus? Square also four sides are equal, rhombus also four sides are equal. Square also opposite sides are parallel and rhombus also opposite sides are parallel. And here each of the angle is equal to 90 degrees in a square, and here each of the angle is not equal to 90 degrees. That is the basic difference between, and that leads to what? The diagonals are equal in a square and diagonals are not equal in a rhombus, right? And what is the difference between the parallelogram and a rhombus? No doubt a parallelogram is a rhombus only. But what happened? Adjacent sides are equal. Parallelogram, what happens? Opposite sides are equal, adjacent sides are not equal. But here rhombus, opposite sides are not opposite sides are parallel but adjacent sides are equal. I hope all of you understand. So if you try to understand the basic difference between the two successive or two polygons, say two quadrilaterals, then it is more comfortable for you to construct them very easily. Now coming to the last one, trapezium. A polygon with one pair of opposite sides are parallel is called as a trapezium. See children, BC is parallel to AD. Here AB is not parallel to CD. Only one pair is parallel. What is meant by a parallel? Non-intersecting coplanar lines are called parallel lines. What is non-intersecting? Intersecting means having a common point. And non-intersecting coplanar. Coplanar means what? The two lines should be on the same plane. So then they are called as parallel lines. So here BC is a parallel to AD but AB is not parallel. So it is a polygon with one pair of opposite sides are parallel is called as a trapezium, in which one pair of opposite sides are parallel. Sum of the adjacent angles, sum of the angles of adjacent sides is 180 degrees. Means what? Angle A plus angle B is equal to 180 degrees. Understand? Angle A plus angle D need not be equal to 180 degrees. Angle A plus angle B is equal to 180 degrees. Similarly, angle C plus angle D is equal to 180 degrees. Here the diagonals bisect each other proportionally. Proportionally means what? They divides with the same fraction. Proportionality 2:3, 5:4 and so on. So the diagonals does not bisect each other. Means what? CE is not equal to AE or BE is not equal to DE. What can you write? CE by AE is equal to BE by DE. Means they are proportional. That's all. Diagonals. So these three are the properties for the trapezium. Now coming to the last one, which is a kite. Two pairs of adjacent sides are equal, one pair of opposite angles are equal. See children, here this is one side and this is one side. These two are equal. And similarly this side and this side are equal. Two pairs of adjacent sides are equal and the diagonals of a kite are perpendicular to each other. Means the diagonals perpendicularly bisected. The longer diagonal of the kite divides the shorter diagonal. This is a longer diagonal and this is a shorter diagonal. It divides it into two congruent triangles as it is. So these are about the different quadrilaterals. So if you know all the properties accurately, then construction part will be more comfortable to you. And also these are 3-mark questions. Write the properties of parallelogram, write the properties of rhombus, and in the form of bits, a polygon with 4 sides are equal is called as dash. Similarly, a parallelogram in which adjacent sides are equal is called as dash. A polygon in which one pair of opposite sides are parallel is called as dash. Such kind of bits also may be expected from this. So all of you must write them in the notes, draw the figures and learn these quadrilaterals properties accurately. Thank you.